What I gotta get it, put it in you. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Maybe not what you would call the most deep introspective lyrics coming from Anthony Kiedis on the massive Red Hot Chili Peppers hit Give It Away. But if you get past the initial knee-jerk reaction to the lyrics, there's proof that Anthony was maturing as a songwriter during that period of time. It all started in rehearsals ahead of their 1991 album Blood Sugar Sex Magik. Most of the band's songs start with Flea coming up with a bass line or John a guitar riff, and the rest of the band following suit as they weave their way through improvisation. Give It Away was no different, starting with a Flea bass riff as the others joined in at a rehearsal one day. Anthony immediately jumped up, marched to the mic with his notebook in tow, and belted out a phrase he had written down, "Give it away, give it away, give it away now." The line had come from an interaction Anthony had with a former girlfriend named Nina Hagen, who was a little older than Anthony, very intelligent, and who would influence Anthony at a time in his life when he was young and inexperienced. He was going through her closet one day and took note of this cool, valuable, exotic-looking jacket, and she told him he could have it. Anthony refused, saying it was the nicest jacket she had, but she replied by saying giving things away creates good energy. If you have a closet full of clothes and try holding on to them, your world will become very small. It was such an epiphany for Anthony, who came from a school of hard knocks, that he never forgot that interaction. And once Anthony quit drugs and started to go to sobriety meetings, the message really hit home. It felt so good for Anthony to give away the knowledge that got him sober to suffering drug addicts and alcoholics. And so the phrase came to him in that jam.
Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Give it away, give it away, give it away now.
He belted it out while Flea was flying down the bass, Chad was drumming and laughing hysterically, and John was just trying to find a spot on the canvas for his guitar. And they just didn't stop. They played it over and over again and left rehearsal that day convinced they had the makings of a great song. Musically, the bass line in the song really stands out. It's super groovy and catchy, but more repetitive than Flea would have played prior to this. At the time of recording the album, Flea had really adopted a simpler, less is more approach on the bass. In an interview with Bass Player magazine, Flea said he was maturing at the time and trying to take the unselfish route of playing what's best for the song and not necessarily what would make him stand out the most, saying, quote, "I was trying to play simply on Blood Sugar Sex Magik because I had been playing too much prior to that. So I thought, I've really got to chill out and play half as many notes. When you play less, it's more exciting. There's more room for everything." Outside of the main hook, the lyrics are more the classic Anthony style of silly little catchphrases that don't have much to do with the others, but still hold a lot of depth on their own. In one section, Anthony writes about a good friend he had at the time, actor and part-time musician, River Phoenix. River was a huge supporter of the band and would even hang around the mansion a bit where they were recording the album. In the song, Anthony writes, quote, "There's a river born to be a giver, keep you warm, won't let you shiver. His heart is never gonna wither. Come on everybody, time to deliver." Unfortunately, this line was immortalized when just a couple years after the recording of the album, River died due to a drug overdose. In the song, critics really loved the combination of the classic Chili Peppers sound with hip-hop, that by the time of its release in 1991 was a genre exploding in popularity. The song peaked at number 1 in the Modern Rock Tracks chart and number 73 on the Billboard Hot 100. It is by far the band's most played live song to date and has been the band's staple for Final Song of the Night on their live show for the last 2 decades. They famously played it in 2014 at the Super Bowl with Bruno Mars, and when they got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2012, was one of the few songs they played. In a recent interview, Flea talked about the song, saying how it's probably the perfect Chili Peppers track to sum up the band, saying, quote, "In terms of sentiment and in terms of rhythm and feeling, Give It Away has always been a song for me that, no matter how many millions of times we play it, every time we get to the end of it and we're closing out a show and me and Anthony, we're all like vibrating and jumping up and down and everything is alive, the idea of giving it away is just such a beautiful thing."